Welcome back, gamers. I'm here to let you all in on some leveling advice I learned throughout my weekends playing Ashes of Creation. This is only an alpha and it is just a testing environment, so everything we talk about is subject to change and may be outdated in a month or so. As a disclaimer, I only made it to level 13, so there are plenty of more people out there with much more leveling experience than me, but I'll tell you what I noticed so far. Tip number 1. Party up to grind 3-star elite mobs. Now, this may seem obvious, but there are a few caveats I'll get into in the next couple of tips. The best experience I was getting by far was when I was in a party killing specifically 3-star elite mobs in Highwayman Hills. Sometimes the 2-star elites did not feel worth the experience depending on the party that I was in, and 1 or no star enemies were definitely not worth the experience. If your party is not focused on killing 3-star elites, you are much better off killing those 1-star or no star enemies by yourself. Tip number 2. Grind with an organized group. This goes hand in hand with tip number 1. If you're a solo player and not in a guild like myself, then you're stuck playing with whoever is available at your location. This can lead to inefficient party compositions, frequent breaks to regenerate health and mana, or your party aggroing too many mobs, which leads to your death and experience debt. All of which will slow down your leveling grind tremendously. Dying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a party, all within 30 minutes, might mean it's time to cut your losses and find a cozy solo area to grind if you can't find a different group to join. Tip number 3. Be the highest level in your party. Ashes of Creation diminishes experience gained for lower level party members pretty harshly to prevent power leveling. Here in Highwayman Hills, I was level 12, while the highest level party member was level 15. Killing a 3-star Highwayman swordsman netted me only 1,726 experience. In my other party at level 13, I was the highest level, and killing a 3-star Highwayman swordsman netted me 2,427 experience. By being 3 levels lower than my party members, my experience per mob was being nerfed by nearly 30%. I don't know how the numbers on this experience nerf scales per level, but 30% is already pretty significant, so always try to be the highest level, or at least within 1 to 2 levels of everyone else. Tip number 4. Use refreshing follow-through. Most, if not all, weapon skill trees will have refreshing follow-through. This passive skill will regenerate mana at the end of your weapon attack combos, so if you're finding mana to be an issue, make sure you're weaving in full weapon attack combos in between your abilities. Or something else I found useful is auto-attacking another party's mobs if they are close by during your own party's downtime. You will regenerate mana with refreshing follow-through, and more importantly, you're not going to pull aggro. Tip number 5. Kill humanoid mobs. This isn't specifically for leveling, but it will offer a big boost to your character. Humanoids will drop armor and weapons, whereas animals and plant creatures will not. I was able to upgrade my helmet, get a belt and pauldrons for the very first time, get a green wand and spell focus, and a green greatsword with magical attack rating, all within a few hours of grinding Highwayman Hills 3-star elites. So if you care about getting good loot while leveling, you might want to avoid non-humanoid places when partying up. Now, if you can't seem to find yourself a good party, or if you prefer to grind alone, let's talk about some solo leveling tips. Tip number 6. Fight the right mobs. I've been playing a mage so far, but I think this will be relevant for most of the archetypes. As a solo player, we want the most uptime and the least amount of time sitting down to ration as possible. To achieve this, we want to fight low mobility melee monsters that are easy to kite, creatures that can be killed during crowd control chains before they hit their crowd control immunity buff, and creatures that are close to our level. These will most likely be 1-star or no-star enemies. If you are a melee archetype like a fighter and you use a greatsword, you'll still earn weapon XP for it even if you use a shortbow as long as the greatsword is still equipped. So stay safe and try to do as much damage with your ranged weapon before getting up close and personal. The monsters that I had the most success with solo farming were griffins, mushroom people, blumerias, and bullywogs. These creatures won't give you equipment drops like we just talked about, but they do offer good experience and safer combat. Zombies and otters are other creatures that should be easy to kite as well. The monsters I struggled the most with were those with ranged abilities or gap closers and high mobility. I died to goblin shamans more times than I care to admit. Find what mobs you can kill most efficiently and stick to them. Tip number 7. Check Ash's Codex. Now that you've found the right monsters that you can kill efficiently, see where else in Verra that they spawn. The Ash's Codex website has a great interactive map where you can filter mobs by levels and filter mobs by their type. So since I had success with Bullywugs and Blumerias at Darigal Estates, I was able to find other good areas where they spawn that might be closer to your home node. I spent a lot of time running around the world of Verra looking for specific monsters. This tool will save you a lot of time. Tip number 8. AoE farm only if it's right. Like I've been saying this whole time, we want to minimize breaks and deaths. As a mage, I found it difficult to solo AoE farm despite our plethora of AoE abilities due to a mage's lack of ability, longer cast times, and difficulty keeping monsters grouped up. This often led to my death or near death, causing another long ration break. I even died to lower level goblin camps because of the creeper's rock toss abilities and goblin shaman green goo attacks. Where AoE farming was not effective for me, I have seen rangers do it fairly well with their high mobility and snaring abilities. Right now, respecking your character is free and on the fly. Try respecting to your archetype's AoE abilities if you have any, and practice on just 2 mobs before trying more. If you find yourself struggling with just 2 mobs, then AoE farming might not be right for your specific archetype, as Ashes of Creation is being balanced for party compositions and solo farming will be more difficult. Tip number 9. Avoid commissions and quests. As most of us probably already know, commissions and quests are lacking in the reward department. Even though these rewards were recently increased, and I noticed that a lot of the rewards were actually doubled in some cases, the travel time to complete these commissions are simply not worth it at the moment, and a lot of the monster hunting commissions will lead you to 2 or 3 star elites, which are extremely tough to take down on your own. Those are the 9 most important things I learned while trying to level up in the alpha so far. I hope you found at least one of them useful. Remember, this is an alpha and many things are subject to change. If you have any additional tips that you learned in your leveling grind, let me know in the comments below to help me and the rest of the community out. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking or even subscribing to my channel. If you want to catch me streaming Ashes of Creation live, I will be streaming here on YouTube and also on Twitch. A link to my Twitch will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.